intel tells us that Bette is formidable at best and destructive at worst.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Wow. Episode 8 from start to finish. I say this every week, but it's my favorite episode so far.
Hi. I go with Bette. Fuck the porter.
Just each week just keeps getting better and better and better, and I cannot believe there's only 2 episodes left, and even next week is my last trailer breakdown. So I'll be posting the trailer breakdown right after I post this, and if you're not already subscribed to the channel, I have a bargaining chip this time. I have some really cool upcoming stuff that is going to be working officially with Showtime. Some people, you know, to do with the show, everything like that, you're going to want to subscribe. So make sure to go and click that subscribe button so that you are notified or the first to know when I do post these little projects. So also don't forget to give the video a big like. And if you're a subscriber and you comment, you can win a ton of free stuff, Jennifer Beal signed stuff and merch and everything. So make sure that you comment and you're a subscriber. So let's get right into episode 8, which is called Launch Party. So as per usual, I'm going to go through by each character. Most of the characters are paired up now, so it's more logical to talk about them together. So we're going to start out with Sophie and Finley. And although last episode was, you know, apart from the end, a great episode for the Finley shippers out there, this episode, things are not great. Things are on the rocks.
I love you like that, you know. Wish you loved Anna.
Are you drinking?
What?
Are you drinking right now?
And Finley, as we suspected last week, has been arrested for a DUI, and she seems very not okay with it, but she doesn't seem to think it's a really big deal. And Sophie definitely thinks it's a big deal. Sophie seems to have been putting things together. I know, like, I've been around a lot of people that have substance issues, and I myself, like, don't drink at all. So I'm always kind of hyper aware of if there's another person who's not drinking, because obviously the norm is most people do. And I think that people like who have substance problems talk a lot about, you know, a lot of them knew when they were trying to like hide things that they had a problem. And, you know, it's kind of like, in a way, like with food and like sweet treats, or whether it's, you know, alcohol or another substance, like you're always going to find a way to get it. So like with Finley, she has been drinking like all the time, a lot, but like we saw her hiding, you know, the trash with the beers in it, and then we've seen her with the flask and stuff. So Sophie probably like wasn't really so aware of it, but now that this has happened, she's going to be hyper aware of every time that Finley drinks. And I think it's surprising her how much, because obviously she wasn't paying that close attention to it before. So it's definitely, I think, going to get worse, judging on the promo and the pictures for next week. I do like that we have Tess established as like a very, you know, she's been sober for a few years and she's a sponsor. She has, you know, her shit really together. And then Finley's like working with Tess. So I think Tess is like a good person that Finley can look to and be like, I want to be there, you know. And I wouldn't be shocked if Finley like becomes Tess's sponsee, but Tess, I think on the phone says she has 2 sponsees already, so that's a lot. And, you know, we do see Sophie and Tess next week talking. So I think this is going to be the big issue for them. And I'm definitely interested to see where it goes, because I would really like to see this portrayed on the show as LGBTQ people have a really, really high percentage, like way higher than heterosexual people, of substance abuse and substance dependency, because obviously, there's a lot of reasons for it. And, whether it's growing up in a situation where you can't be open or about your orientation, or whether it's, things that have happened because you're LGBTQ. So there's many reasons. But yeah, it's nice that the show is doing this and portraying this, because I think it'll touch and reflect on a lot of the audience. So Micah has a new lady friend this episode, and it's a super hot doctor from his place of work that we get introduced to in this episode too. And I did kind of like that we got a little bit more background about like Micah switching position and everything like that. It kind of like, filled in a little box. And I did really like this actress and character. It'd be cool if we saw her again, but I have a feeling just the way like, Mary Bell came at the end, that it was a one and done. But I did like the actress. It was nice to see another person from Micah's work and, establishing that location a bit more. And Mary Bell and Micah were super cute at the end. So hopefully that sets them off on their little happy ending for, at least 2 episodes, at least till the end of the season. Okay, Dani, and I'm going to talk about Dani and Gigi together. And can you see the smile on my face? Oh my God, I love Dani and Gigi. I would die for them. They are perfect together. Oh my God, I seriously, and they got together so fast in the front of the episode that I was just literally, it's, again, you guys know I watch it at like 4 a.m. here, and I'm like, yes, I love them. They're great together. Like, I loved all the talking and everything, because we saw last season, like Dani, and not gelling with Sophie, and like Sophie really like prodding her, but like Gigi is just the best. Like, she really is. And I'm really confident in saying that Gigi is the healthiest person on the L Word, Generation Q, and I think is one of the healthiest, if not the healthiest, individual that exists in the L Word sphere, the L Word timeline, whatever you want to call it, because there were multiple timelines going on in this episode. It was day for some people and night at the same time for some people. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But yes, I love Dani and Gigi. I'd actually just be pretty interested in a show that, just had a camera that was sitting, and like Gigi and Dani could just be like brushing each other's hair, and I'd be interested in it. But Dani, her dad, is out on bail this episode, and the episode starts off with Dani talking to Bette about Gigi, and Bette is...
Sorry, I don't give a shit about Gigi. What the hell am I looking at?
That's the other thing I wanted to talk to you about.
Is that from you, or is that your father?
Me? I thought you'd be happy.
Bette has been difficult this season. I mean, Bette's always difficult. Come on. But, as you get older, you take less and less shit. So I think this is also just seeing Bette be more Bette. And Bette flies off the handle when she sees Dani's family has they've gone to the CIC, and Dani's sponsored this wing.
To state the obvious, a group show of black artists whose work seeks to spark a revolution cannot be funded by a company that has profited from their pain.
And like it has her name on the glass in front. Really excited to be back at the CAC, just putting that in there. But Dani is trying to do a nice thing, and she's trying to talk about Gigi, and Bette's just like, I don't give a fuck about Gigi. And then, which Bette, come on. And then she's annoyed at Dani because it's like a poisoned chalice, like the same thing they mention in this episode, the Sackler family.
That was not at all my intention.
Not your intention. That's the reality.
You know where I stand. You know what I believe in.
People are going to see that name, and they're going to think of only one thing.
That's my name too.
And for anyone who doesn't know who they are, and you can probably tell by the tone of my voice and my eye roll, that they are like the scum of the earth. They are responsible for pretty much the opioid epidemic in the US, as they were marketing one of the most addictive and strong pain medications, oxycodone, which is basically legal heroin. They were marketing it as only 1% of patients would get addicted to it, and surprise, it's probably the most addictive substance in the world. So they're scum. And there's actually a film coming out on Netflix called Dope Sick, and I know the director, Danny Strong. So if anybody is interested in seeing just how much scum they are, look out for that next month. But anyway, Dani, obviously, like, her family name and thing ties into it, and she does rightfully say to Bette, like, this is my name too, and you know, she's trying to do something good. And I really love the Bette and Dani relationship, and I love that, like, Dani had this, you know, person that she could learn from and all these things, and like it just seems to implode. But we do, I mean, it's not worth it, but we do get this fantastic line from Dani that is just fuck Bette Porter. So I did really enjoy that.
Hi.
I go with Bette. Fuck the Porter.
And Gigi and Dani through this episode kind of go through, like, you know, they obviously super hot scenes, then there's a little bit of a tiff, and then, you know, they talk and they get things out there, and they're just so cute at the end. And please Gen Q writers, please just let them be happy. Just let them be happy. They're so beautiful. Just leave them alone. So I'm really excited to see what goes on with them and how everything turns out. So I just love them. They're so cute. So Shane, in this episode, Shane and Tess are officially an item, and Shane is telling, like, Bette and Alice at Alice's book launch that Tess has had to go to Vegas to, like, look after her mom, and we do then have Shane go to Vegas to see Tess, and it's like a very typical, like, Vegas out the window, which I was like, oh, I guess, like, her mom's in, like, a assisted living facility, so she's probably, like, sold her mom's house, I guess. And they have a very hot scene. So I really like this pairing. I love Tess and Jamie Clayton. I think, you know, I'd love for her to be a regular next season, and I kind of think that's where it's going. There was a lot of people yesterday saying that, like, you know, this has never happened before with Shane. Like, Shane's never waited 8 episodes to sleep with anyone. So that does bode well for all the Chefs fans out there. So I definitely love them and would love to see them be this cute little item and little, you know, power poker bar couple. So we'll see what happens there. And so on to Alice, and, you know, it's a big day for Alice. It's the launch of her book, and we do have her confessing to Tom about sleeping with Nat, and Tom was, like, very forgiving and things. So, and by the end they are, you know, together and they seem happy. So I'm all for Alice having some happiness. She really deserves it. The biggest, obviously, scene in this episode, I think, was when Alice is reading, like, her chapter from her book. I had guessed that it was either going to be, like, a really classic L-word thing, or it was going to be something from, like, the intermediate between the two shows that we didn't know about. So it was about Dana.
I'd like to read from my favorite chapter in the book, titled Dana.
And she reads about the second that she said, You Are My Sunshine, I was like, no, don't do it. Oh my God. I think every L Word fan in the world is mentally scarred by that song. And if you like turn that song on in like a lesbian bar, everyone would be like, no.
You Are My Sunshine is without doubt the most annoying song ever written. But Dana loved it.
So yeah, it was, I just thought like Leisha Haley did an awesome job as usual. She is a really, really great actress, and she is pretty unsung most of the time. So I just really think that she's one of the best on the show, and she absolutely sold that scene. And then I think it was made even stronger by the fact that they were like flashing to Bette and Shane, and you could see them like, you know, getting like teary-eyed and stuff. And I think everyone was great in this scene, and they just did a great job, not only the actresses, but the way it was shot and everything. Like, I loved it. I thought it was a really, really powerful scene and one of the best parts of the episode. And so on to my beloved Bette. She's really, really off the rails at the moment. We do get, I mean, as I said, they were at the CAC, and we do also get a Peggy name drop. So we do know Peggy Peabody is alive and well.
The CAC has decided to pull all of Sicarian artists from the show. I fucking knew it. No, but it's not over. I can call Peggy.
And I think this is again setting up a possible Helena, or I mean, do we dare to dream that Peggy Peabody may surface in Generation Q sometime? I don't know. And Bette in this episode, she has her Bette moments. She really, really does. And we have some classic Bette screaming fuck. But I loved the way that Dani's dads, I guess they're like lawyers or like work for him, how they described Bette as if they'd like, you know, Googled her and like read all these things about her, and they described her like some sort of like Marvel villain or something. It was really funny.
People are talking.
Our intel tells us that Bette is formidable at best and destructive at worst.
And if she gets the museum to pull the name, we could be blacklisted.
That's exactly what happened to the Sacklers.
Bette has quite a bit of up and down in this episode where, you know, the CAC kind of calls her bluff and pulls all the work because she tried to use that as like a, you know, bargaining chip, and it didn't really work because, you know, they actually followed through. And then Bette, which is a big deal for Bette, you know, tries to go to the CAC and like say, please put the work back on. We do see next episode, it looks like there's that protest, which is one of the only images that we've seen that hasn't happened yet. Like episodes 9 and 10 were pretty much in the dark about. I will talk way more about the trailer in my trailer breakdown, so that will be out really shortly after that, and when it is, I'll link it in the cards above, down below, pinned comment, all that stuff, and we'll talk about that more there because it looks like a pretty Bette-centric episode. And we do have Bette also say about Angie's donor and that she's meeting him, which we kind of guessed because, again, we saw those images, and in it, Tina has like a hospital, like visitor's badge pinned to her handbag. So Angie wasn't in this episode, but, you know, I think that she's got a lot going on next episode. So that was probably the reasoning behind that. And yeah, Bette in this Bette this whole season, I know that she's been like an off the rails nightmare. You know, she has been rude to my precious baby Gigi. Now she's fighting with Dani. She is wild this season. Like the whole, you know, Carrie thing and Tina and oh my God. But I mean, she's so entertaining. Like the show wouldn't be the same without her, and she's a human at the end of the day. Like she makes some awful decisions, especially for, you know, a 50-something-year-old woman. But I absolutely love her, and she just makes this show for me. So, as I said, look out really soon for that trailer breakdown. If you haven't seen the trailer, I have also posted it on my channel. Overall, as I said, this episode was brilliant. I really, really loved it. I'm seriously, like every week, just like, how does this season keep getting better? Like, I don't know what's going to happen episode 9 and 10, because it's just so good this season, and I'm so entertained. I can't wait. Like, literally when the episode ends and I see the trailer, I'm just like, oh, I want it to be next week already. And they've done such a phenomenal job. Like, everyone, like the writing, the actors, like everything is so beautifully shot too. Like, lighting, costumes, music, like it's all absolutely perfect. And I know they took us a long time to get a season 2 because of, you know, what happened, but boy, was it worth the wait. It is an absolute masterpiece. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Don't forget, if you're subscribed and you comment on the review, you can win a signed Jennifer Beals photograph print. And if you comment on my trailer breakdown, you can win some free merch. So if you want to check out my merch store, it's linked in the description box down below also, along with all of my social media, my Patreon, and my podcast Drinks at Dana's. Everything else you could possibly want is linked down there as well. So make sure to check out the trailer breakdown for episode 9, because there's only one trailer breakdown left after this one. So I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I'll see you very soon for some more videos and those upcoming projects with Showtime. And I'll see you back here next week for episode 9. So as always, make sure to stay safe, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.